Hey, my name is Nunu, so let's start this video. Most people follow a financial script that they believe is safe. They go to work, they save a little bit of money, and they buy the things they are told are markers of success. But in 2026, the math on this normal life is becoming uncomfortable. Statistics show that 90% of people fail to reach financial independence, not because they are reckless, but because they follow a playbook that was designed for a different economy. Today, we are going to look at 4 specific financial mistakes that keep most people stuck in a cycle of permanent work. Let's look at 2 people, Sarah and Alex. Both are 32 years old and earn the same salary. Sarah does everything she was told to do. She bought a house, drives a new car, and saves a standard 10% of her income. Alex does the opposite. He rents his apartment, drives a used car he bought with cash, and saves 35% of his income. Right now, Sarah looks like she is winning because her success is visible. But in 30 years, Sarah will have a net worth of about $952,000, most of which is trapped in her home. Alex will have over $3.1 million in liquid assets. This $2.2 million gap is created by 4 specific choices. The first mistake is the 10% savings trap. Almost every financial article tells you to save 10%. It sounds like a real commitment, but the math does not hold up. On a median U.S. income of $83,000, saving 10% for 30 years at an 8% return creates about $1.03 million. Using the standard 4% withdrawal rule, that $1 million only generates $41,000 a year. Since the average American household spends over $77,000 a year, this creates a massive shortfall in retirement. Saving 10% is progress, but it is mathematically insufficient to reach independence in a reasonable time frame. It takes a 10% saver 51 years to reach financial freedom, while a 35% saver reaches it in about 25 years. Alex understands that the goal is not just stability, but the ability to stop working while he is still young enough to enjoy it. The second mistake is the car payment cycle. The average new car payment in the United States is now $767 a month. Dealers have stopped asking how much a car costs and started asking what monthly payment you can afford. This is a psychological trick that makes you ignore the total price. Sarah's car costs her nearly $700 a month, and it loses 20% of its value the moment she drives it off the lot. By year 5, she might owe more than the car is worth, a situation called being upside down. Instead of owning an asset, she has a subscription to permanent debt. If that same $700 a month were invested in a simple index fund for 30 years, it would grow to approximately $1.58 million. Most people choose a car with a panoramic sunroof over $1.5 million in future wealth because the car is visible today, while the wealth is invisible. The third mistake is the belief that buying a home is always a better financial move than renting. In many major U.S. cities in 2026, buying a home costs over 50% more per month than renting a similar property. Sarah was told that renting is throwing money away, but she is now paying for what experts call a 30-year wealth tax. On a $450,000 home with a 6.5% interest rate, the interest alone over 30 years is about $458,000. When you add property taxes, insurance, and maintenance costs, which average 1% to 2% of the home's value every year, the carrying costs are massive. Historically, after adjusting for inflation, homes only appreciate at about 1% per year. Meanwhile, the stock market has returned about 7% in real terms. By putting $90,000 into a down payment, Sarah locks her money in an illiquid asset that she cannot easily access if she loses her job. Alex rents and invests the difference into the market, which gives him a liquid portfolio that grows faster and offers more security during a crisis. The fourth mistake is ignoring the hidden leaks in your portfolio, specifically fees and psychological spending. Sarah pays a financial advisor a 1% fee to manage her money. It sounds small, but over a 30-year career, that 1% fee can consume nearly $934,000 in potential wealth. Every dollar that goes to a fee is a dollar that cannot compound for you. Furthermore, 94% of actively managed funds fail to beat a simple low-cost index fund over 20 years. Sarah is paying 40 to 50 times more for a product that statistically performs worse. Alex manages his own money using 3 simple index funds with a 0.04% fee. He also pays for everything with cash or a debit card. Research shows that people spend 12% to 18% more when using a credit card because the pain of paying is removed. Sarah thinks she is winning with 1.5% cashback rewards, but she is likely overspending by 15% just by using the card. The reward system is not a hack. It is a way to make you a more efficient consumer for the banks. The reason most people follow this playbook is social pressure. Neuroscientists have found that going against social norms activates the same part of the brain as physical pain. It is hard to be the person with the used car and the rental apartment when everyone else has the new SUV and the big mortgage. We compete with what we can see, and consumption is the only visible part of someone's finances. You cannot see your neighbor's brokerage account, but you can see their kitchen renovation. This leads to a normal life where you earn a decent salary, but your bank account stays the same month after month. At the $0 to $1,000 savings level, money is an emotion, usually anxiety. At this stage, a $400 car repair is a crisis that ends up on a high-interest credit card. As you move up the levels of savings, money stops being an emergency and starts being a tool. When Alex hits $31,000 in savings, he realizes that his money is generating over $1,400 a year without him lifting a finger. He stops working for money and starts deploying capital. By the time he reaches $1.4 million, his labor becomes entirely optional. He didn't get there by luck. He got there by avoiding the 4 mistakes that the system tries to make you believe are responsible. The conventional money playbook is not a public service. It is a business model. Banks profit when you take a mortgage. Dealers profit when you finance a car, and advisors profit when you pay their fees. No one in that chain profits when you drive a paid-off car, rent strategically, and invest in low-cost index funds. The unconventional path looks risky from the outside because it looks like deprivation. But the real risk is ending up like Sarah, who at age 66 will have a $75,000 annual cost of living but only $38,000 in annual retirement income. Building wealth is not about how much you earn, but about how you structure your life so that compounding can do the work for you. It requires an identity shift from a consumer to an investor. It means being okay with your friends thinking you are weird about money because you prioritize your future time over current status. Financial freedom is not a fantasy. It is a mathematical timeline. The gap between the 90% who struggle and the 10% who succeed is simply a matter of which script you choose to follow. The most important question is not how much is in your bank account today, but whether your money is working for you or you are working for it. Real freedom is not about buying whatever you want. It is about having the power to choose how you spend your time. The math is clear, the tools are available, and the choice is yours. Which version of the future are you building?